I wanted more fulfillment in my life and to give my life some kind of purpose. My mom told me to just open it up to God and focus on the little signs that guide you to giving your life more purpose, and I did, and I met Henry.
I was the only child of a family. My parents lived in the city of Cologne for many years. After 1933, when Hitler had come to power, normal life changed abysmally. We did not know what the war meant, and certainly didn't realize that that was the beginning of the actual physical extermination of Jews. 2 weeks before my Bar Mitzvah, my family and I were put away from Germany and sent out to the ghetto in Poland. My dad was very anxious to have me have the Bar Mitzvah, for which I had studied and anticipated. There was a bombed out building. It was known that there would be a Saturday service. They did have a Torah, but it had been torn apart by the Germans and desecrated. They peed on it. They scrolled the damage and peed upon a portion of the Torah into one scroll, one side, and they read the section that was not designated for that week. All I could do was observe it, and that was as close as I ever came to a Bar Mitzvah. We entered a barrack. We were stripped. They shaved our hair. We were given a disinfectant shower, so to speak, followed by water and pushed out the other end of the barrack. And I find myself in the clearance, sort of a courtyard. It was a large gray building with a huge smokestack and an enormous flame, and a most unfamiliar odor. There were men in blue and white striped uniforms waiting for us, and they announced, "Welcome to Auschwitz." Praying for assistance to a higher power, nobody was home. Not one crumb of bread would come down, no one word of encouragement, and I believed that I had to do more for myself. I felt the confidence and defiance and hope that I could survive would give me strength that the others did not have by relying on a higher power.
Going to the wall was pretty incredible. There's just a whole feeling that just kind of like overtakes you, and you see the wall for the first time. We went to a shuk in the Jewish quarter. Ended up finding a leather bracelet with Shema written on it. I wore it for a while and then ended up losing it. Lost for probably about 6 months to a year. And one morning it turned up, I found it. So I'm like, oh sweet, I'm gonna put this on for today. That day at school I found out that we were having a Holocaust survivor come and speak. I was immediately intrigued by his whole story and everything he had been through, especially recently having been to Israel.
I answered several questions, and one of the questions was, had I ever been to Israel?
He said that he hadn't been. I looked down at my bracelet.
You very generously took off this bracelet.
I gave him the bracelet and he couldn't accept it. He kept telling me, no, I don't take gifts. I'm like, just please take it from me.
That meeting was a turning point in kindness and generosity, to give something personal, give something personal of the person.
I learned during the main assembly that he was taken 2 weeks before his bar mitzvah. So later I found out during lunch, after we had met up the first time, if he had gotten his bar mitzvah since then. And he has gotten multiple offers to go to Israel to get bar mitzvahed, and all of them he has turned down. I got back in the car. My mom was actually at lunch with us that day, and I looked at her and I told her, I have to send this man to Israel. I have to have him bar mitzvah. He has to reconnect with his cousin, and Yad Vashem is going to know that he's not dead. I actually offered him to go to Israel to get bar mitzvah.
Taking Susie and me to Israel, it's a gift that we are not accustomed to accept. It's too big.
At first he turned me down before we got a call in the middle of the night in tears.
I could visualize my dad's struggle to have me bar mitzvah in the ghetto. To honor him and my parents in general and the Torah, I decided to become bar mitzvah. There are no words that can thank enough for kindness and generosity. You have multiple donors, but they have all one thing in common. We intend to do something for somebody who has not had the opportunity.
I guess that's when it really hit me that I was actually really making a change in someone's life.
It had been my goal to go to Israel as far back as 1945. It was a dream, I figured at this age, not likely to be realized.
Right when we landed, we went straight from the airport to the hotel to meet his cousin.
After about 73 years, it's quite an event.
Oh, yeah.
And we're expecting a time of discovery.
Knowing that I would go to Israel, and knowing that Rabbi Lau, who was nicknamed Lulik in the camp, he reminded me, as I did recall, that after the liberation, we were sent to orphanages in France.
Where was this picture taken?
That was in France after Buchenwald.
Not in Equi.
Acre.
I was there.
She said, would I be so kind to accept that he was laying tefillin on me, which I'd never had done.
This is the number.
I don't have a number because I was on the Buchenwald, it's just the whole way
Right.
to Piotrkow. There were no touching numbers.
No, only Auschwitz, Birkenau
Only
gave.
Auschwitz.
Only when you were selected to live. Baruch Adonai,
Adon,
Adonai,
Eloheinu,
Eloheinu,
Melech
Melech
Olam.
Olam.
And that was a moment that was right to the core.
Shema,
Shema,
Yisrael,
Israel,
Adonai,
Adonai,
Eloheinu,
Eloheinu,
Adonai,
Adonai,
Echad,
Echad,
Baruch,
Baruch,
Shem,
Shem,
Kavod,
Kavod,
Malchuso,
Malchuso,
Leolam,
Leolam,
Voed.
Voed.
Mazel tov. Good luck.
Thank you.
And long life.
Thank you.
And good health.
It was probably the most powerful thing I've ever seen.
I found also out in January of this year that Yad Vashem had me as not having survived. It's sort of a triumph to go back and say, surprise. Israel must strive, and it will with the strength of its people.
To come bar mitzvah at the wall had a major recall of how I was not bar mitzvah. When you reach the ultimate way to become bar mitzvah, especially so many years later. The joy and the pride would obviously be both of my parents and the rest of my family that perished. What I feel right now is not easy to describe. A miracle of being here with my wife, if you want to use the word, blessed.
To stand here and knowing for the last few weeks and months that we would get to this place is awesome.
Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachat banu mikol hamin baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Hevenu shalom aleichem. Hevenu shalom aleichem. Hevenu shalom, shalom, shalom aleichem.
The Torah represents a tribute to my parents who struggled to get me bar mitzvah and the 1.5 million children who never had the opportunity to have a bar mitzvah at all. Amen.
When I was walking away, I told my mom that actually I think that was the best day of my life. I haven't taken it off since. Henry always says that the only time he takes that off is showers. I'm doing the same. Well, being there and then seeing it actually execute in front of me, it's obviously giving me that sense of fulfillment that I was looking for. It's giving me a way to live my life going forward. The trip that I'm going to remember for the rest of my life, and it was the most meaningful part of my life. I'm extremely thankful. Thankful he said yes.
As far as I'm concerned, I don't think I could care any less for my grandson than I just withdrew. To find, shall we say, a stranger who comes out of the midst of about 200 students, like a star coming out, that is not friendship, that's kinship.
We have a blast together. He's hysterical. We're always laughing. And he's given me the best gift of my life in experience and knowledge and, you know, in pretty much every aspect of my life. Something is showing you the way. Something is giving you an opportunity that you have to listen to and like really listen to understand that, okay, you're meant to do this. If you can take those things that you've heard and then go and make something out of it and change someone else's life and change your own life, then, you know, I think you're doing life the right way.